Alright, starting a new routine. I've been walking about 2 miles a day, but it's summer and well, the beginning of summer, so I want to make some changes to the YouTube channel. We're gonna do my talking out here about life as I walk, and you get to see what it looks like in Huntington Beach, and I'll do some walking in Newport since I live right on the border. But today's video, I'm by the way, I'm Mark, the Wandering Reseller. The last, I don't know, 30 years or 27 years, I've pretty much worked for myself. Had a partner for about 20 years, my best friend, John. And today's video, I want to talk about having a partner and what we did to make money, and most of the time it was always part-time doing the business. Even though I was always focused on it, I was always having to do something else to cover all the bills. But today's video, I want to talk about a good guy and a bad guy being a partner, and why we had to have that structure, and how it affected me later in life, and what it taught me moving forward. You know, as a young man, I struggled with writing and reading, and I realized by 23 I was never gonna hold a job where an owner of a company will take the liability of me making mistakes over and over and over and over again. So I started with a golf ball business. I discovered that I had the ability to buy and resell used golf balls from driving ranges, and did that for a long time, and I ended up selling the golf balls overseas, and I learned about exporting, and so those turned into speed bumps that you see on the roads to keep people from crossing lines when they're not supposed to. As I continued to play golf and I caddied, we wanted to play competitive golf, and we tried to raise money, and that's when we started getting in the web business. So we created profiles before Facebook and even MySpace, teaching pros and touring pros to help raise money for their dream. What dreams were made of was the name of it. And then suddenly we started creating websites for pros. In early days, I had to learn how to create contracts without SEO or without AI, and had a lot of help from his side of the family, having attorneys, access to people. We started growing contracts, and being someone that doesn't type and make a lot of spelling errors and dyslexia, and I always had to come up with ways to try to write, do my proposals, get them ready, sell the product, and then deliver it to John to develop. And over time, I realized I had to be the bad guy. When your partner is developing at a level that you can charge 100 to 200 to 300 to even more an hour, customers would go around me. And when I started seeing people take advantage of the situation, I would have to be the bad guy, break the relationship and move on. And I had a great partner, because he would agree with me that and this happened many times, where people take advantage of what we were doing, especially in SEO. We're generating hundreds of leads a month, and then they want to read a whole new website, but they wouldn't come to me. They would go to John. Or in a lot of different situations in video production, they did the same thing. And so I turned out being the bad guy. I always had to build a relationship, deliver the product, monitor the product, then be the bad guy. And a lot of that times I scarred myself by building this bubble. When I had experiences, customers blowing up in my face, but you know, it's like 10 revises on a website that we only charged you $500 for, and you're getting a $20,000 website. And we're talking high level development. So in most SEO companies, anybody that's a business owner knows when you go into an SEO business, you got doors and locks, and you never really get to the developers, you never get to the programmers, you get to the salesperson. And I was the salesperson. Most of the time, because of my dyslexia and disabilities, I had to pass the customer to John, so that it was his turn. His turn to work with the customer. And that right there was a big mistake, because what happened is I lost control of the project, and then I had to be a bad guy. So I wasn't able to work and like have miles marks. Okay, we achieved that, we achieved this, this is what we said. All right, well, that'll be an extra overcharge. And then next thing you know, you're working part-time, and you're now working extra. You're working extra for nothing, and now you're not growing. So I learned so much developing projects. I say projects, we just didn't do websites. We did patents, we did iPhone apps, iPad apps, we did video production, we did commercials, and we were decent or really good at certain things. And SEO, search driving leads for companies, was our calling until it got really hard with managing these, I would say, unappreciated customers. People that thought they had something they didn't have, when I'm the person saying, no, that's not what you sold. I sold. And so it always got kicked back to me, and I was the bad guy. So that's one of the main reasons why I left developing projects. I had some other, I could never get enough momentum. The goal was to, support two incomes, have a chance to generate millions of dollars a year. And it just was never going to happen with a part-time job, and having both of us doing our business part-time. We got to like 18,000 a month was our biggest take for the year, a month, from lead generation. We produced some of the greatest videos for golf before Golf Channel, and we sold a lot of DVDs on how to, from playing pros. Didn't make us millions, but every project we ever did, I felt like I was always the bad guy. And I'm far from the bad guy. I'm happy-go-lucky. I'm the person that smiles, and I I'd say 95% of the projects were brought or networked through me, meaning after building a relationship with somebody, they then found somebody through that person that would then come to me to build a proposal and sell the project. And I don't know, we sold hundreds of projects, hundreds. And I always kind of look back, what did I learn from that? You know, I've learned different things from patenting products. I've learned different things on running different types of businesses. But the big, nobody in a partnership should be good or bad. And we should have set it up differently once we saw that I was repeating myself, getting upset, being the bad guy. And you know, I don't know how we would have done it differently. We could have been more, I don't know, as a group meeting and control my anger to a point where it would go away. Because if I'm upset, that means we're not making money. I'm protecting my best friend from having to do hours and hours and hours of free work when it wasn't contracted. We started real early. We wouldn't do a project without a contract. And the contract was thorough. Someone that had to not only send my contracts to have them checked to make sure there were any major errors, we still had this problem. So that was one of the reasons why me backing away from producing products was necessary. It was for my health. It was for my partner's health. He was able to focus on his owner's dreams and have a system that protected him, and he just had to work. He didn't have all these highs and lows when I'm low or high. And I mean, I closed some projects that I would propose 50% under the value of what other companies are doing, and made mistakes, and we do it, and we suck up the work because we made the mistake. And those projects, I wasn't the bad man. We had many projects where I wasn't the bad person, but it was the ones that were taking. And that is, if you're ever around a developer, there's two laws, rules. Boy, nothing's easy. We talked about it this week because he had his job. Somebody said, oh, this is easy. John should be able to do it in a day. And they don't know that. And he made an education, taught this person nothing's easy. If you don't know what I'm going to run into, you don't see all the different possibilities. And developers take a lot of pride in their work. And when you say there's bugs, B-U-G, bugs, like we're telling eBay there's bugs all over the place, are always running into technical issues. Not one of those developers are happy about that, because they take pride in their work. So when we create videos, all these technical issues and bugs, and anytime a developer would look at that video, they would probably watch the first 10 seconds of it and then turn it off, because it goes through a QA system, it goes through many different scenarios, but they're servicing it to millions and millions and millions of different people on different servers, and different servers are outdated and all this, all the rules we don't know. And it's not their fault that the company didn't keep up with their code, and they're using different generation of different types of code, and they're just trying to achieve what the boss wants. So no developer wants to hear that there's a site that has tons of bugs. So you have to say, well, we need to QA this and outline these things I'm seeing. And I learned to keep my QA, real thorough with screenshots, and this is what happens when Safari, well, there's a different code set. You know, he's building it on for a different browser. You know, and then he has to, it's not a bug, it just hasn't been fixed yet. It hasn't been addressed. It needs to be looked at. It needs to go through QA. So we actually talked about that today, or 2 days ago. We talked about what causes pain body for developers. And that's definitely one insights, bad news insights. It's what I know that causes frustration for someone else. So why would you deliver it in a way that would cause that frustration? So you have to deliver it in a way that doesn't cause that frustration. It sounds stupid, but it really, any developer that develops 10, 12 hours a day, different code, different languages, going to have that issue because they take such great pride in what they do. Now, if they don't have great pride, they're going to find themselves looking for work all the time. And if a developer is always looking for work, there's a question on that type of mentality, or they haven't learned certain things. Anyway, I just wanted to change it up a little bit, talk about I don't have to be the bad guy anymore. I can be my friend's friend. I'll be my best friend's friend and talk about life and not have to talk about problems. I don't have to. I can grow my business slowly, and he can do his thing and grow his family's life, and it's not having the highs and lows of people taking advantage of you. And that's one of 3 different reasons why I left South Coast Golf. And it wasn't a falling out. It was a beginning. It was, now I just need to take these learning lessons and take them to the next level. Use them in my business. And what I'm now trying to do is completely take emotions, 100% of my emotions, 100% of my emotions down to reselling. So I don't have those highs and lows. I don't have those me being the bad guy feeling. Generating my change of focus for that day. Because for me to achieve my dreams, I have to make effort. And having that effort be affected by how I'm feeling doesn't help me. So this is video 1 of a new, kind of like a mixture of reselling what I learned out of running my own businesses into this business, and we'll have new videos in this series. I just need to figure out how it works and how it sounds. And all right. I'm almost at a mile mark. We talked for a mile, almost just shy of a mile. We'll cut in one more time and finish this video up at the end of my walk. You know there's a problem if you're getting lapped by someone that does speed walking. I just don't walk fast anymore. I'm at a mile and 4.6. I got about a half mile to go, and I achieved my goal for the day. So just a quick recap. I was protecting my partner, my best friend, and that's probably why I built the bubble of being the bad guy, and he was the good guy. And customers then would know, they would go to him. And like our last customer that I sold, he's a Hawaiian, and it was like getting, it was so hard to get anything out of him. But as soon as the deal closed, he was just sucked up to my best friend and partner and just cut me out of anything. And that was tough to accept. You know, I took 20 years of selling projects to be cut out of. Even communication was. I know he doesn't work for him anymore, and he shouldn't. But that's up to him. He does this what he does, whatever he wants to do. But I lost so much respect for him. Not John, not my best friend, but that was another serious reason where I struggled. You know, losing control of your own business, and there's just so many situations that happen that could have been dealt differently. And probably if I would have sat down with John and been more, he needed to push back. So maybe we both have been the bad guy. Or this wasn't a part of the contract, this would be overcharge. Well, we'd have to bill you for this. I don't know. I don't even think that would have worked, because the way they would word it and the way they, oh, what do you think? You know, like, especially him, he was an expert of stealing talent. That's what he did. He would steal other people's ideas and build a business around it. And I was just broken. I was seeing less development time because we were doing so many favors for people for free. And like now, you know, I'm asking my partner to help me, my best friend to help me with stuff and develop a product, and I'm not paying for it, but he's doing it. And he's doing it because we're true friends. You know, we got at each other's back when one's struggling. Seems like I'm the one always struggling. Anyway, I thought you guys would enjoy this. This happened more in SEO because you're generating leads for thousands of dollars, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars. Or water damage that would destroy the whole house would be $50,000 in contracts and proposals and insurance claims. And so it happened at every level. We learned a lot, and now I just try to not be the bad guy anymore. So all right, we're almost there. All right, I set my goal, I made my goal, and here's my car. Thanks for listening to me. It wasn't a rant, it was just an educational moment for me to reflect and apply some of these new things that I'm learning and trying to implement it into the business I'm running now. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you got this far, and have a great day.